am a woman. I am a mother. I am a former wife. I'm a sister. And a health professional. I'm a PA and a lactation consultant who loves to work with new young families. And I'm a daughter of the king. I think of myself mostly as the roles. I think that I am a very caring, compassionate woman who enjoys being with people and learning about people and loving people. I enjoy new experiences. I like to be active, stay active, be outside as much as I can. I run a little, I bike, I walk, and I love to explore the outdoors. I was with my grandsons this past week, and we picked blackberries and cucumbers, and we found a turtle, and I just love the outdoors when it's nice enough to be outdoors. My childhood is a little unusual as far as most people go. I was born in St. Louis, but my family moved from there 6 weeks later. My dad was with a defense contractor company that worked with the Air Force. So we were stationed around Air Force bases, and we lived in South Carolina and Japan and Hawaii and Georgia when I was growing up. And then as an adult, I went on to travel even more. I've lived in 9 states and 3 foreign countries. And some of those states have been repeats. So, and then one of the foreign countries, I've lived in the Philippines 2 different times. So, I've got a background that has been thoroughly enjoyable. I think one of the first memorable experiences was when we lived in Japan. I started first grade in Japan and was there until the middle of 3rd grade. And we had a Japanese culture class, and we learned, language, different phrases in Japanese, and we learned a song that I can still sing to this day, poorly, but I can sing it. And I learned how exciting it is to be with other cultures and to learn about them. And I remember I was unusual for the local Japanese because I had very blonde hair and blue eyes. And so they would always want to touch me when I was out in public. But it wasn't a frightening thing. It was just I learned very early that we're all different. And I learned that we're unique, but we all share the same characteristics overall. We want to enjoy life. We want to experience things, and we all want to be loved and to love. And the biggest challenge would be the transition that my ex-husband went through. As my ex-husband came out as transgender, and that's been the biggest challenge for me to deal with. Learning how to be accepting and loving, but to be true to myself and do what I felt like I had to do has been a huge challenge, and we're still navigating that. And I think that's been my biggest challenge. The transitions that I've been through in life continued with the transition that my husband was making, which also affected me as far as what my role is. And I can remember when our youngest son, graduated from college, moved away from home, thinking, who am I? I've always, for so long, I was a mother and a wife. And so my children didn't need me in the same way that they did when they were all out on their own. And because my husband's role was changing from being a man to a woman, it was a very confusing time for me as to where I fit into all of this. And so it's been a lifelong journey of transition and learning, who am I and where do I go next? What do I do now? How has that impacted me spiritually? I've had to rely so strongly on my faith. I don't know that I could be as healthy as I think I am if I didn't have my faith to sustain me through these very, very difficult transitions. Emotionally, I've had to rely on the strength of friends and wonderful support and counseling that I have received from you and other friends. And as far as dealing with this socially, it was very difficult at first because I didn't like being perceived as the poor spouse of the transgender woman. I didn't like the limelight from that. It was very uncomfortable for me, and so I think that's where it's also been so important to me be able to rely on the support of friends and family as well. I think that my spiritual life was strengthened because of my reliance on my faith to help me get through this. We were always a church-going family, but my former spouse struggled a lot with how she felt about her faith and what she was going through and why was she going through it and what was the right answer. But it also affected me, and we kind of grew apart in our spiritual lives and then found kind of our own strength separate from one another. I had a very close group of couples. We had been in a close couples group for years. And so as my spouse was struggling with what was going on, and he felt like he wouldn't be accepted by most of the traditional Christian community. So he began to pull away, whereas I was hanging on tight for myself to keep that support. And those friends are still a big backbone of my life right now. My birthday, we're all celebrating my birthday next week together, and it's just been such a huge blessing to me. And the sad part is that I know that my spouse, who is now she, really misses these friends, but she now lives in area and it's uncomfortable, it's just, there's a big discomfort there for a lot of people. And I think they've kind of divided us, that I am still their friends and they still care for my former spouse, but they're not close like they used to be. I think I'm dealing with the changes in relationships pretty well. Actually, I'm still very close to my in-laws, and my children have pretty much accepted that their father is now a woman, and they still have a relationship with her. They celebrate Father's Day by celebrating her, and they celebrate Mother's Day with me. But they all are very open-minded and have dealt with it pretty well. And I think that has made it easier for me because I don't have to fight any kind of battles for them as far as accepting who their father is now. They're all grown and living their own lives, and we just attended a ceremony for our daughter-in-law a month or so ago, and both my daughter-in-law and my son introduced us, just said, these are my parents, and didn't say anything more about it, and just left it at that. And so, and as far as how I'm dealing with it, it's always going to be a process, and I think it's been 10 years this month that we separated, and we've been divorced since 78, that's when we got married, since 2018. So it's definitely been a process of acceptance and growth and moving on, and still trying to make sure that that we love each other without the role of husband and wife anymore. So how others could best deal with transitions in their lives would be to find your support people and rely on them to keep you mentally and emotionally healthy, to tune into your faith or your spirituality that keeps you strong and healthy, to stay active and know that the future may bring you something wonderful. And so it may be difficult right now, but keep your hope, keep your faith, keep your friends, and keep your family close to you. I think for seasoned women, we have to remember that we have been strong, we are strong, and we can continue to be strong and healthy for many years. But we have to make an effort. We can't just rely on the strength that we had as young women. We have to maintain our strength, and that's physically by staying active, and that's emotionally by maintaining your friendships. That's mentally by keeping up with what's going on around us, and just knowing that you can live your best life now, that your best life is not over, but that you have a future that you can continue to live your best life.